What's up, guys? Welcome back to GoHamDiscGolf. I'm Big John. Let me know what you think about this new setup. I like it. I think it's a way for me to have more space for me to do things. I can put more discs up here, which will help out with you guys that had the OCD about a missing disc here. So let me know what you think about it. I've got some goodies here that I plan on doing surprise giveaways on. I can also set out stuff on this table that you guys can check out. This right here is the Innova competition bag that I'm giving away. In case you're not sure or you haven't heard, the giveaway for this bag ends Wednesday at midnight. So if you haven't entered into that giveaway, jump on it, guys. You've got like a little less than 2 days left, so get on it. I have my bag up here. I'm almost ready to do an in the bag video. I'm waiting on one thing, so as soon as that gets here, I'll get that video out to you guys as soon as possible. And then right here I have a slightly used Innova Deluxe bag, and it's holding some goodies in there that you guys can't know about yet, and a couple of discs that I have to do giveaways and reviews on. But I'm actually planning to give this bag away too, so stay tuned, you'll find out more about that stuff. So let's get into what this video is about. This is going to be the review for the Latitude 64 Gold Line River. And this disc is actually for the Aviator. He's a subscriber, he's a longtime viewer of the channel. When I put out my video about how I needed a logo for GoHamDiscGolf, he submitted the logo that actually I ended up using. It's the one that you guys see all over the place. And I said that whoever's logo I chose, I would give that person a disc of their choice. Well, he decided that he wanted a Latitude 64 Gold Line River. And I should have done this video a while back because he was very generous. He said, go ahead and do the review, get it in the weight that you want to. Do the review and then send it out to me. So I wanted to hurry up and get this review out, so here we go, guys. Let's jump straight into it. Now, while I'm talking about this, I'm going to overlay some video of me actually throwing the disc, and you guys can see what's going on there. I'll be throwing another disc in there too. That's the brand new MVP Volt. It's a Neutron Volt. It's the one that's currently in my bag. It's my fairway or control driver that I fell in love with. I absolutely, do everything with this disc. So I wanted to compare it to the River. And I've actually got a review on this coming up soon too. One thing I want to mention about these videos is where I show me in the field throwing them. I didn't go to the course to get any footage there because I tend to be a lumberjack, like my shirt says. And I didn't want to tear this disc up because it's such a great disc. I didn't want to tear it up and then send it out to the Aviator and him be like, oh man, this is a used disc. And the other thing about the field footage is that you'll see a lot of times I'll throw all over the place, and I have a little bit of trouble with aim when I don't have something right in front of me or out in the distance that I'm aiming for. So I apologize for that. I plan to get a portable basket soon that I can put out in the field and actually have a target for. So let's jump straight into this. You guys know that when I did the last review for the ABC Mission, I was using my point system. There were two categories there that may have been a little confusing and actually were worded incorrectly. They weren't what I meant to call what I was rating the disc on, and that was high speed stability and low speed stability. I'm changing those up to what I actually mean. That's high speed turn and low speed fade. So I'll explain that in a second. But here's the video, and you guys can check that out while I'm going to ramble off in the corner. Alright, the Gold Line River in high speed turn, which is at the beginning of the flight, how much the disc turns before it starts to come back and fade. And I rated that a 7 out of 10. And it's a good rating. It does a very good job, and that's because when I throw a fairway driver like the River, I need it to be in like a tight wooded area. I need it to fly almost like a laser beam. And maybe I throw fairway drivers incorrectly, but that's what I use them for. And I could not get this disc to turn over. I could rip the absolute mess out of this thing, and it stayed on its line. It would turn for me, but not incredibly. Like I said, I could just rip it completely and it would pretty much hold the line, a straight line that I put it on. Now, low speed fade, I gave it a 7 out of 10 as well, because in the same right, when it would start to slow down, it didn't fade too much. It would probably only deviate 10, maybe 15 feet off of where I expected it to come down at. But it was still holding the line the whole time. So a 7 out of 10 for both high speed turn and low speed fade. Now, glide. Latitude 64 itself says that the river is a gliding disc. If you look up on their website about the river, it's got glide in capital letters pasted all over the place. And I 100% agree with them. This is a disc that will glide for days. I rated it a 9 out of 10 on glide just because I think that a disc that has a 10 out of 10 for glide would be a scary disc. This thing, absolutely, 100% great disc when it comes to the gliding category. If you're looking for a fairway driver or even a long range driver, maximum range driver, and you need something with glide, look at the river, guys. Alright, True Flight, I also rated a 9 out of 10. And you got to be careful with that though, because while if you put it on a hyzer line, it will keep that hyzer. You put it on an anhyzer, it'll hold the hyzer. And if you release it flat, it'll do its damnedest to stay flat. But you got to be careful, because if you accidentally put it on a small hyzer line, it's going to hold whatever line you put it on when you release it. So be careful, guys, when you grab this disc. Alright, backhand, I gave it a score of 8 out of 10. And you guys know I'm primarily a backhand thrower. So it felt so good on release, and it did exactly what I told it to every time, with the exception of the times that I messed up on my throw or something like that. It did such a great job. So if you're a backhand thrower and you need a fairway driver, check out the river. I'm probably going to keep on saying that because I love this disc. Now, forehand and tomahawk, those are two different categories, but I'll lump them together because they both got a 5 out of 10. And the reason for that is that I use the same grip on my forehands and my tomahawk or overhand throws. And when I release that, I need it to be a very smooth release, because I don't normally drive with a forehand or a flick. I use that for getting out of trouble and when it's the only possible shot that I can make. And like I said, I need it to be a very clean release, and for me, it just wasn't. And I think it's because of the bead that it's got on it. It's got almost no bead. Literally, it's got almost no bead. But it was enough for somebody like me to notice. I didn't rate it extremely low in those categories because, honestly, somebody who primarily throws forehand can probably do amazing things with this disc. But I'm rating it for Big John, so it's 5 out of 10 in both forehand and tomahawk throws. Now, thumbers, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's a really good thumber disc. But the one thing I'll say about it, it doesn't fly with a thumber perfectly. It's got a very high swooping thumber. It's not going to hold a very tight turn like you might expect a thumber to sometimes. With spiked thumbers, it does a good job, and you know, it's a good thumber disc, but it might not be the one that you pick up just for that. So 7 out of 10 in thumbers. Touch or finesse shots, I gave it a 6 out of 10 because while it does do what you tell it to do on those touch shots, the gliding can come into play, and sometimes that can hurt it. If I want something to just slowly and softly go around a corner, a lot of times I want it to get around that corner and drop. I don't want it to get around that corner and just keep going into the next hole. So it plays very well when it comes to touch or finesse shots. You just have to be careful with the glide that this thing has on it. And then the last category is feel, and I gave it an 8 out of 10. I absolutely love the gold line plastic from Latitude 64. If I could take every single disc in my bag and get that mold made out of this plastic, I would definitely do it.